my name is Nir, and I'm from Create Fertility Center and Babies Come True. What we're going to do now is we're going to start with a video that it's a documentary that was done by the Canadian government, by the documentary channel of Canada, that kind of explains or shows a little bit about how does the journey works from kind of a long distance. They did a set of 12 full surrogacy journeys, because Canada is very pro surrogacy. 12 journeys of different people, and they basically did every week kind of a show, almost like a reality show, but it was documentary. It wasn't for fun. It was really to go through the process and understand in order to promote and kind of promote surrogacy. At that time, they did a poll, and 94% of the population voted for continuing helping international people with surrogacy, which is great. People have when it's a long distance, and a little bit of why surrogates in Canada choose to be surrogates. Just for you to know, kind of a good ending to the story, she's now pregnant with their second child. So there's something kind of common in Canada, that the surrogate, if you have a good relationship with her, she might gonna offer to you to do the second journey as well. One thing important to say: this video was started. This whole journey obviously starts from the day one that they made a decision till they had a baby, which took about 1.5 years. Today we will not encourage to do double embryo transfer. It's something very important to say. I know there's going to be discussion all the time about it, and it's something very important. Create Fertility Center is the biggest clinic in Canada that offers many choices, including one guarantee program with 2 live birth, which I'm sure that me and Sam are going to talk about soon. The basic guarantee: 2 babies, 1, and then when you're ready for the second journey. The cost of that's one of the better things about approaching Canada. The cost will be between $100,000 to $120,000 Canadian dollars, and that's for everything, including really everything. No more, no ups, no, but if you want this, we need more, just this is the amount that you're going to be paying, which is very reasonable compared to other places. I think, Sam, you have some...
Yeah, I've just got a few follow-up questions from the video and a few other things people have been asking me about Canada. That was clearly a pretty emotional journey, and I know it is for lots of women who decide to be surrogates. What sort of screening criteria occurs in Canada to make sure that these surrogates are okay with giving up the kids?
So they'll go through a psychological screening and medical screening. It's done by any clinic that you will choose to work with. At our clinic, we do offer that. If a surrogate will be, 5 hours flight away in a different part of the country, then she might be using one of our satellite clinics to do some of the initial screening, but the psychological screening will always be done by us.
And if people have embryos here in the UK, can they ship them to Canada?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Very easily can be shipped to Canada, and we can help with the process of finding a surrogate.
One of the, I think Dr. Danishman talked about PGD testing of embryos. Is that something that Create does as standard, or is that?
It's a standard. So the package and the price that I was telling you about, the whole process, that includes everything. And any of the packages that we have, that we offer, is including PGS and PGD.
Right. What about egg donors? Can Canadian IVF clinics provide egg donors for you? Or?
Yes, so we will connect you with agencies that will provide egg donation.
So that's a separate agency from the IVF clinic?
Yeah, all the agencies, even the surrogacy, are separate from the IVF clinic. In 2004, the Canadian government saw that there might be conflicts of interest, or they might be a compromise if a clinic will have their own donors or they have their own surrogates. So they basically said the clinic job is to screen and make sure the surrogate is the right surrogate for these IPs and the donor is the right donor for their IP. So it's kind of, since then, that's how it works.
All right. A final question I've got is, what support can international intending parents access if they're doing surrogacy in Canada? Can they get support from people in Canada?
Yeah, so I mean, they have, for example, somebody like me who's a part of Create. I have an organization called Babies Come True, which is really a voluntary organization that is a part of Create Fertility Center. That what we do is we help people throughout the process. So you're not by yourself. You don't need to worry about how do I actually do the process? How do I find a lawyer? What do I need? It's going to be somebody who's going to explain you from the beginning to end, and really every time going to talk to you about what are the next few steps that you need to do, and make sure that you're doing them, make sure that connects you with the right people. And if you're not happy with the people that you are connected, there's always others. Because we're the biggest clinic, we work with everyone, so we don't have any affiliators per se. We absolutely have agencies that we will recommend you to go with because we work a lot with them and we have great relationship, but it's really all about your choice.
Right. Any questions from the audience? We've got time for maybe 2 questions from the audience. Yeah. Could you just repeat that with a microphone?
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you coming. What's the legal position on getting the child out of the country once it's born? Do you provide a Canadian passport? Do we have to apply for a British one? Is there a visa? How does it work?
So this is a very good question to speak to actually a local lawyer here. And I think there's 2 here in the back. Andrew is here, and you can go and ask him. But the way that normally it works is very quickly you'll get a Canadian passport. And in most cases, we'll recommend that you go with a Canadian passport, come back here, and do the process here. It takes I would say about 2 weeks to get the Canadian passport, and that's normally the time that you will go. I think that we have an IP here that will speak later. You can ask her exactly how she's done it. I'm pretty sure she will talk about it as well. So yeah, it's a very simple process. You're both going to be on the birth certificate, so if it's same-sex couple, you guys going to be on the birth certificate. If it's female and male, you do. If it's a single male, you'll be on the birth certificate. Canada is very liberal, up to 5 parents. So if anybody who lives whatever type of family you live, up to 5 parents, you can register in Canada.
All right. Any other questions? We've got time for one more. Probably. No. Great. All right. Thanks, Neil. That's terrific.
Okay, so just one thing I want to wrap up, guys. I'm actually going to be here next Friday and be able to meet people one-on-one. If you guys want to know anything about the Canadian process, and really, because this is really not a lot of time, but if you want to know more, then come up to us, see me, and we'll figure it out. Okay? Thank you.
All right. We're going